time now. Over on the side of G2.iG though, great stuff as well. We're seeing this gyrocopter and gyro yesterday. This hero just didn't lose, Fog.
He owned. He really did pop off. And honestly, I think VP's draft, like you said, kind of old school, has a lot of power spikes. There's 4 melee, which can be a bit of a concern versus Gyro, Phoenix. Like, there's a lot of good heroes versus melee on the side of IG. So a little bit of a worry for VP if they don't get a good snowball going, because IG's draft just covers all bases. So we'll have to see how the Wombo combo goes and if they're able to connect with these combos, because I think a lot of the game for VP is going to be how FNG is protected to be able to get these buff ups and everything for these big tanky cores. Because if he's able to get his free spellcasts on Grim, then they have that extra bit of catch for the Ember Spirit and stuff like that. So this should be a pretty fun one.
A lot of action to come here.
My real biggest worry is the egg in a lot of these situations, because I know Xnova, super good Phoenix player, especially with his positioning that he usually puts his egg. And look at the heroes that actually hit it. Like DK when he's ulted,
they've got the Marcy.
And then Marcy. It has to be the Marcy.
I mean, I feel like I think Antares is going to be on top of it.
I hope so. It has to be him,
it's
though,
the
right?
support Marcy. He's more than happy, right? He just go in, pop his ult, pop the egg.
The reason why I'm saying I'm concerned is because there's coverage.
Sure, there's a lot of ways to
lot of stuns. There's a
yeah.
slight chains that's going to disarm.
Yep.
There's a lot of different things that can just cause you some problems with that type of,
that's true.
preventing you from hitting the egg. And there's 4 melee. So Antares might have his work cut out for him, but we'll see if he's able to do so. And they cut the wave top, so double melee, playing versus the double range. We've seen this a lot with the Darkseers too. They just kill that range creep right off the bat, dispose it back, and then just immediately kill it.
So anyway, talking about the gyro, this came Mono on the gyrocopter. Yesterday, we kept seeing it win. Was that sort of just like a day one, just a small pool of games kind of thing, or do you think that's going to continue? Do you think gyro right now is just that good? Is this hero going to maintain this high win rate through the tournament?
I got to check one thing really quick, because which teams won with Gyro? It was the SEA teams, right?
Sure, 23 Savage crushed like 2 games on it.
For me, I always think about SEA with the Gyro.
They're very good with
they're just amazing with it. So maybe there's something a little bit there, and also maybe the hero's just super good right now. So we'll have to keep watching, of course, as the tournament progresses, but
sure.
Hero did seem super nice.
I mean, sort of as history goes in Dota 2 across the patches, what would sort of Gyro versus Sven usually play out as?
Sven can do pretty well, right? Because he's got the Warcry to buff up his allies to protect versus Flak, and he's a heavy hitter. So if he gets on top of the Gyrocopter, even with Satanic and stuff, the Warcry is going to prevent a lot of lifesteal, etc. We're talking way later down the lines, of course, but
let's see what we can get out of this bottom lane. So Kiritich backed up by FNG in the Sven Grim lane.
Yeah, it's a really good thing that you point that out, though, because when you do look at IG's damage, right? It is a lot of damage that can be thrown out, right? Gyro, Ember, Slardar, it's good physical, and then they have decent magic that backs up from Phoenix.
Sure.
But there's a Warcry, there's going to be Greaves, there's going to be Pipe, DK has his armor, so and this is going to be interesting once it all kicks off, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. If this Darkseer has a good game,
Baboka,
he's going down. That's first blood. FNG is going to be able to grab that. But yeah, absolutely. If this Darkseer is able to get his auras online and get his items, they just don't really have a hero on G2.iG that can mirror that, right? This Slardar, JT's not going to be buying auras for the team, right? He's going to be playing for himself. He ends up being the guy that normally has to carry the lads on G2.iG, the way that JT was playing. There's some phenomenal stuff from him the other day. So it's just a very sort of different dynamic. If things kind of get pulled together, quite literally as well with the vacuum from Noticed, I think VP's mid-game team fight could be kind of hard for G2.iG to break through.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Just because of the greediness. I'm going to watch how good this lane bottom goes, because now that they've lost Baboka already at the start, I mean, JT, this hero Slardar just seems to do well in most of these matchups, but yeah, definitely going to see how good of a start JT does have. Because the VP can snowball a bit, but IG, they have very strong heroes that scale. Like, they have an insane scaling lineup as well. So
it does feel like one of those lineups where as VP, they're probably going to get to a timing, right, where you group up, you're going to go for these pushes, go for these objectives.
Absolutely.
If one of those pushes kind of goes wrong, G2.iG turn up with the defense, just kind of supernova into Gyro turning up and being able to shred everyone with the flat cannon. A couple of failed pushes from VP could start to really swing the later stages of the game in G2.iG's favor.
Yeah, I would say that VP is a little bit more tempo-oriented this game, so I think they have to be careful. I know Panel was mentioning as well, too, that it was a similar draft that we saw yesterday, and it was overextensions that was their downfall. So for VP, definitely don't want to overextend too much, but want to have at least a lead going into the mid-game with your big team fights.
Because I think, sure, VP's lineup does have strengths in the late game as well, but it's very much that the mid-game, that's when the peak of their lineup is going to be much higher than the peak of G2.iG's.
Yeah.
They're going to hit it sooner.
Unless Kiritich is just like going absolutely crazy, but that's not going to happen because he is playing versus a bit of a hard lane. Slardar versus a melee, it's a hoodwink as well, so he'll be a bit slowed down on the Sven.
Yeah, and kind of just throughout the game, right, JT is going to be able to have Kiricic's number. If he could just get on top of the Sven, be bashing, crushing him, even when sort of the BKB's out, it's just not easy for Kiricic to stay on targets if JT is able to survive and just keep control of him.
Absolutely. But Boca, I love watching him. Just like his play, like he's literally just like spamming Acorn on and off in the toggle. You see that? So he's like setting up for the stuns or not. It's really fun. Careful, Kiricic, big stun.
Baboka's got a beautiful setup there. Kiricic, he's going down surely, and yes, indeed, Baboka able to get him with the last touch to take him out.
Beautifully done.
He was absolutely ready for that, as you say. Baboka eyeing up the chance of, do I want to put a tree? Do I just want to go for the damage bounces? He knows what to do, and he's got it toggled correctly. Tree down and gets the kill.
He's literally just spamming it the whole laning phase on and off, just in case of the scenario that he sees. So beautiful catch. He's got his null. And other thing we do, of course, things to point out is this is a game where the 4 positions can really pop off. We have a Marcy versus a Hoodwink potential, right?
Yep.
So
absolutely.
Some real fun stuff that we could get in these later stages.
Yeah, I think so. The limitation there on the side of VP at least is, you know, Antares, I think most of the time when he's going in with these, he's got to be hitting the egg. You know, he's going to be focusing X-Nova. What about X-Nova?
He's going down.
Very nice drag back there from Notice with the vacuum. Means there's no chance for X-Nova to escape. Missile's going to be heading his way.
He's got another barrage, but not going to go for it.
Doesn't want to dive for it. Doesn't want to start tanking the tower hits. And understandably so, because Antares is able to swing back across and maybe set up for Monet as well. As Monet on the run is going to try and take Notice down. Antares off the mark with the jump. Still with a few more right clicks. I mean, the rocket barrage, they've got to be careful. In fact, Monet, he's thinking about going back at the 2 of them. Monet able to live there indeed with the bit of a whiff spell coming out from Antares. And Monet survives.
Very well played from Monet. Like, honestly, dodging the rebound or maybe like the miss, either way, a very good play. As Baboka also swings mid, and they get a kill on the DK.
Oh, that's a big one.
That's massive.
Not normally a hero that dies early on in the laning stage, the DK.
No, especially not to Ember, right? It's, yes, the max Flame Guard build, but the DK overall just plays in that lane fine. He free farms.
Absolutely. You can see on the CS, right, 34-10 against the 25-2.
Look at Baboka go.
And top lane again, indeed. Baboka from the bottom to the middle to the top. I mean, all 3 of those crucial kills. I mean, he's literally set up to kill all 3 cores, right, in the first 6 minutes. Made sure they killed the carry, made sure they killed the mid, made sure they killed the offlane. So Baboka doing everything right now.
And he really was a big difference maker yesterday that we saw in the game that they won. His Muerta, you know, he popped off. Him and Monet, of course, did have some crazy type of game, but amazing start already here for the side of G2.iG.
Absolutely. I mean, as I was saying, we know VP's lineup, it does require a bit of early momentum.
Another 2-man stun.
Indeed. Blood grenade down as well, and Taras is going to start ticking down. And here comes back with the rocket barrage. They've got the missile over towards him.
Oh, baby.
I mean, this is disastrous here for VP. They're getting absolutely crushed.
Wisdom Rune. They're going to be able to claim the Wisdom Rune after the 3 kills as well and go back for theirs.
They're not going to get anywhere close to finding the momentum that they need to try and abuse the potential mid-game power that their lineup has.
This one actually could just snowball out of control very quick if they don't start fixing some of these things. Like Darks, all 3 cores die, they lose their tower, lose their Wisdom Runes.
I'll check this out again.
Wow. Baboka.
So they saw a chance to try and go for Monet. I mean, this is the second time, really, where they've seen Gyro being as low as he is and trying to capitalize on it. But it's just going horribly wrong each and every time, not respecting the numbers that G2.iG had there.
I mean, that's actually a very good point, not respecting it in particular, right? The rocket barrage movement speed, too. You see Monet's just zooming around, being able to kite around them. That's a fantastic start, and that's going to really hurt VP's type of style of draft, as you're mentioning.
They can't get this kill, surely. I mean, they have a silence.
It's fine.
It's just a bit of a half-hearted attempt, really, from them there around the mid. It's not going to work.
Darkseer slowed down, and okay. G2.iG came so prepared this game. So on top of them diving, getting these kills, taking Wisdoms, they've now double-blocked Ancients. So for the Darkseer players out there, the way you recover is you go to Ancients. And now they're going to be double-blocked, so there's going to be no stacks. That's pretty huge. Bottom JT.
I mean, they should have a solid chance of getting this. They've got the God Strength. They've got the 3 of them. JT,
they got him.
He'll be going down. They'll find something, VP.
Good kill. But yeah, now we see those sentries, of course, placed down. And yeah, the recovery for Darkseer usually is, you just stack up those Ancients, quad, whatever it is, throw those Ion Shells on it. Notice is going to have a very, very tough recovery in this game.
Yeah, it's rough as well, because the Darkseer really is quite a crucial part of the team fight.
He is.
If he starts falling behind, gets dealt with, it's not going to be easy to keep one another alive on VP and in the mid.
Squad.
Got the backup here of FNG and Taras as well. They're going to turn over towards, nothing to say. They're in with the silence, but it's going to get removed very quickly, so he's able to continue to jump forward with the Remnants, looking towards Squad. He's thinking about diving the tier 2. He's in with another slight change. He's going to be able to get the kill, jump back out. But Boca in a second. He's turned up, but he's got a missile. think it's where he's going to go very, very low to the flat cannon.
Oh.
He'll only just survive, but a risky move there to turn up. Notice has dropped the wall down, but they don't care at all. They're going to be able to walk around it. FNG continues to get chased here by nothing to say, but another bushwhacks there. Have they got another sleight of fist? They don't. So FNG lucky to survive. But these fights, you know, VP, they're barely scraping away from them.
One by one, TP's in forward. I'm astonished Kiritich actually gets away right there. That was super close to him dying. G2iG, this is a completely different team than we saw yesterday, I feel. Super aggressive plays, deep aggressive wards, and playing around each other beautifully. Yeah, really fast stuff. I think in the series where we saw them catch a game win against Entity, it was what they had a very slow start. They did have a slow one. And then Monet kind of came in with the late game farm, the late game carrying. This time around, I got to say, though, it feels like a lot of the action has kind of been handed to Mono. You know, they've sort of been turning up to his lane and allowing this Gyrocop to just get involved in some free fights. We'll see the catch there onto X-Nova. SquadX able to catch him by surprise coming down from the high ground. But it's just fine. I mean, it's 5 positions, so it's kill's a kill, but... Oh, they actually still haven't picked up their Wisdom Rune. Okay, Baboka will go back for it, but... I mean, amazing start. G2iG, their draft scale super hard. They have 3 scaling cores compared to the Dark Series. Yes, he's scaling, but more team fight oriented. They've set themselves up for success in these first 10 minutes to keep applying this pressure. The one thing they do kind of lack is taking towers a bit with their lineup. You know, you kind of have to force the issue with a team fight with Gyro. Yeah. But getting the top tower early is important, and mid tower is actually half HP too with an Ember versus a DK, so that's a pretty big deal. Yeah, it's always sort of a sign of how the game's going when the mid tier 1 situation's not favoring the lineup with the DK. Exactly. Another smoke coming in. It's a bit of a hard move to make, as we saw there being pointed out, and Tara is still just level 4 on the Marcy, so there's this big window now where G2iG, they've got the 6s on their supports, they have that Supernova, there's not going to be any sort of counter in the form of Unleash if G2iG is able to bring a fight to VP during this time. I think this is one of the poorest Darkseers I've actually seen at 10 minutes. I think it's usually, the mech is almost always done, like 4,300 net worth or something like that, or 4,000 something, and Noticed has been very much so dealt with, and yeah, as we said, the ancient blocks as well are going to hurt for his recovery. And when your Darkseer is struggling, when you're playing with this quad melee, it means everybody can kind of have a bit of a struggle. I'm going to try for SquadX. He's going to be able to get out of the range of the Supernova. I think a bit of a missed setup there. I think actually that was a rare time where Baboka didn't quite get the Bushwhack connection. Did he not get the connection, or did the egg cut it? Oh, I think you could be right. Yeah, it's not, but maybe it's X-Nova. Never blame Baboka. Yeah, that's true, actually. I didn't see. I think you might be right. No, I think you might be right. I think his tree was cut that he was connected to by the Bushwhack. You know what I mean? It's like the anti-synergy that we see sometimes. That may have been exactly what went down there. So indeed, Baboka, he's like, it wasn't my fault. X-Nova. We didn't even see it, but we're going to blame X-Nova. Yeah, sorry. Maybe get a replay of that. We'll be able to check, see who was responsible for that one. Love it. Kiritich, Mask of Madness is finished. Here we go. Oh, was it a missed Bushwhack or a burning tree? Oh, it was the miss. It was a miss. There we go. X-Nova's fine. It is Baboka. And he didn't even cut. It doesn't even cut the tree. He did it. X-Nova's in the clear. Tell you what, Baboka was probably telling him though. It's like, I hit it. You burnt my tree. And X-Nova's like, I'm pretty sure I didn't. That would be pretty funny. All right, smoke up. Level still, like you said, Antara is still level 5. They'll get a jump forward with the blink. Because silence as well to follow up. It's a good amount of lockdown. They got him. And yeah, easily enough there now to take out Nothing to Say. Biggest move they've made all game. JT also has a blink dagger though, SquadX. Be careful of your positioning. Yeah, he'll back up, he'll give respect. So Tower won't get pressured, but they do get a nice and much needed kill. Still Antara's not 6. Are they just gonna maybe go for another move? Because they have this blink on SquadX, so they just want to play with him with the 2 supports. JT staying around Monet. They have vision on this high ground still from that deep aggressive ward from earlier. And they'll catch Antares. Now Antares nowhere to jump, nowhere to run. Keeping the lead here. And yeah, that's the mech timing. But as you say, not one to write home about. This is a slower one this game. Starting to recover though, because he does have access to his ancients now. But yeah, one of the slower ones that we've seen from the Darkseers, at least as of lately. So Zero's just been seeming to have some very good lanes. Looking like they want to set up for Notice, but VP is kind of in the area. I don't know if the Sven, how much he wants to get involved. He's coming in. And we're seeing so far from Kiritich's gameplay, he does want to get active quite early. Yeah. Which a couple of times has been at least very close to his detriment with how close he's been coming to dying. They will have to start leaving him some Ancients, though, to recover. So now that Noticed has that mech, they'll start leaving some for the Sven to get that catch-up. But 5K lead, I mean, that's a pretty damn good start for G2.iG with their, triple physical cores. I mean, and for both, but interesting to see the build, too, that Nothing to Say has queued up. The Blade Mill, I've seen this a couple times in the past as an Ember when you're playing versus hard physical damage and stuff, but it's got the Radiance next queued.
Oh.
It's kind of different, especially he's playing versus Darkseer, so if he gets walled, he's going to give them a Radiance if he does go down that route.
Uh-oh.
So we'll see if he does.
We'll see.
Because you usually don't see that.
I'm not a fan. Well,
I'm not a fan.
No.
Especially not versus no illusions or anything like that. He might just be memeing, but that's interesting. But maybe he is thinking that their lineup does get to a point where it's mostly physical damage. So
I mean, now you've drawn my attention to it. But do we like the blade mail part of this either? What's going on? Because I feel like we see this was something in the past. I think definitely with some of kind of the Chinese region teams, they did like to do the blade mail.
So I can tell you my reason. I think what I see mostly from Embers is when they're playing versus Magic lineups, they go Mage Slayer. So I think this one he's playing versus a physical lineup, he's going blade mail. So I think that's his idea. But I'm totally just kind of guessing. So
well, we'll see. I mean, at the moment, indeed, they're doing so well that it probably doesn't matter. You know,
we'll have to see. Jump forward. No mana for chains, but doesn't matter.
I mean, he's definitely going to commit for that Radiance. He doesn't mess around. If he's queuing up an item, he's going to buy it. He's already bought the Talisman.
Okay. I think it is just this physical, right? It's DK, Sven, Marcia, the ones that are really going to start bothering him the most, I guess, right? So he just wants to be as physical resistant as possible.
Well, because of the mischance of the evasion?
Yes, yeah, exactly.
All right.
I guess. But he is going to give a Radiance to the Darkseer illusion every time. So we'll have to watch how much repercussion that has.
Yeah, if Notice is able to get that and start picking up kills at the end of a fight, then it's going to be we're going to be keeping an eye on that.
6K lead though, first 15 minutes still. JT positioned up top with Monet, Baboka at the ready too. Oh, he's running into 5 heroes.
Straight into the smoke. He's going to go straight away into the two-man crush. They're going to turn with the Dragon Tail stun. They're going to try and kill him off, and they're going to be able to succeed. That's going to be JT gone. Now the turn over towards Monet. Dive forward from X-Nova. He's holding back on the Supernova for now.
Kiritich.
They've got the 4 of them, so Nothing to Say wants to jump in on this Antares. Gonna start things onto Baboka with the Unleash. A lot of damage as well.
He's doing well.
He's got the Bushwhack to hold him back with the Dragon Tail stuns there. It's going to be Baboka going down also.
Ooh, JT. He didn't know that they were all there, but jumps into 4, and there's a War Cry plus that mech, so Gyro comes in and does 0 damage because of all that resistance of damage. VP striking back when they group up.
I mean, they are. This was quite the dominant start from G2.iG, but a few things happening now that could cause this game to at least have that lead slip away from them. If VP can make these coordinated moves, they do have this strong team fight that we talked about.
Their 5-man is very strong.
It was slow kind of getting the auras online, but they're going to get there. You know, Notice has got the mech. He's going to be working into that pipe.
Yep.
If he's able to sort of get that pipe on top of the mech before this game completely collapses, these team fights won't be easy for G2.iG.
Yeah,
VP will have the means to be able to survive through the initial burst.
I'm wondering if this Radiance is going to be grief, honestly, because it's delaying his timings a lot. It's slowing down the game, and it's going into, like, VP is going to be able to get a lot of farm out of the map with him not having something like, I don't know. I'm not too sure, but this just feels a little bit strange.
Yeah. It's a long time in the future, but say they lose this game, win the second, we've got to get Nothing to Say on the interview and get Purge to ask him what's up with the build. I want to know. I
want to know as well. I'm curious about it. I mean, maybe they do feel like they're going to be able to just like farm and scale infinitely because they have Baboka playing Hoodwink as well, and they have a crazy scaling draft, but I don't know. It's kind of cool. And now we're going to look at every Ember is doing it, right? I'm going to actually go back. I'm going to go and check. I don't believe that every Ember is doing it.
Yeah, see, what other Ember players right now in the world are doing the Radiance build? It's
been 90% of the time Maelstrom into Maelstrom, Mage Slayer into Maelstrom into Gleipnir, / BKB, then Ags, and blah, 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 blah. So I'm going to check just to see and make sure that nothing has changed too much from this tournament, but I would imagine not.
I said it was a while ago. I remember seeing some Blade Mail, at least the Blade Mail. I can't remember if there was Radiance to follow up, but the Blade Mail opening at the least.
Yeah. It's also just because it's into the Darkseer. That's what bothers me too, because you're just going to give him the Radiance. But and when you're going this type of greedy route, it does make it so that the other team can actually fight back a little bit better in that early mid game and stuff like that.
It does seem as well kind of like the opposite of what Nothing to Say does. At least was doing yesterday in some of the games where they're having success. Right, he was kind of making playing a more sort of sacrificial core role.
Exactly, that's true.
Making the plays because he knew he had like Monet playing some hard carry, JT playing some real kind of farm heavy hero, which can absolutely be on the Slardar.
Noticed,
different dynamic.
He's going for like a bit of a solo play, but there's responses.
Yeah, but Boka's very dead.
And now JT also jumped in.
He's in trouble as well. The wall's been dropped down on him. He's going to get dropped. He's gone. I don't know. This is...
Big hemorrhages.
It's feeling a bit rough. It really felt like, you know, kind of rewind, what, 5 or so minutes ago, it was like, wow, G2iG, they're crushing this. But now it's like, uh-oh.
They're just running, they're giving up big free kills. Like JT now back-to-back deaths. That's 3 in a row after his blink reveal. Monet's still farming super well, but everybody else is just completely stagnated, and VP's group up is working out very nicely.
I mean, that group up's fantastic.
He's got BKB now, so he's pretty survivable, and he's going to have the War Cry plus all those auras. Yeah, Pipe is how far away? I mean, it's pretty much almost done with it.
So with the way things are going and with the approach that G2iG do want to try and do with this, do you imagine like Nothing to Say gets the Radiance and then they're going to go, or is it going to get the Radiance and then keep farming?
I honestly, I don't know, because I'm really confused about it. So VP, they're taking advantage of it, and they probably see this and they're like, okay, well, it's going to take them a long time to have that itemization. So I think for G2iG, the next thing I want to see them actually do is just force a Roshan.
Because, yeah, that's a Pipe.
Yeah, I think the team fights now at this point are not going to go in your favor at all. There's just too much damage mitigation on the side of VP. So it's a 5v5 fight is going to be hard, so maybe they just play the farm game. I'm curious. I mean, curious to see what we get.
They do like to do it, you know, especially when Boka's on a scaling support as well. He's more than happy to keep hitting the creeps.
I mean, X-Nova, they're all, this is a very scaling draft.
Boka, though, talking about, he's dead again?
Again.
Uh-oh. Well,
it's a lot of kills given up.
It is, that lead, it's slipping away. A lead that... It really looked like and felt that G2iG, if they wanted to, they could have done a whole lot with that lead.
Yep, they could have pressured a ton. It felt
now they're going to lose Roche.
Now they, with the Slardar on their draft. So a pretty big deal that they're going to be giving this one up. As this group up from VP.
We'll see. Maybe it's some big brain 5-head stuff from G2iG, and they're going to really, as you say, swing it back around in the late game. They just want to win the game in that style. That's the way they want to go for.
I really dislike this Radiance. I really think it's gotten VP so much space to get back in the game on top of just... They're all split up, and VP's playing grouped.
Yep.
They're still getting good farm on G2iG. Like, X-Nova is level 12 as well, too, but VP just... They completely squished everything that happened in the early game.
Yeah, they're recovering, right?
Yep. First 15 minutes don't exist anymore, pretty much, for the most part. But Radiance is done, so let's see what's going to do. As we said, versus the physical damage and stuff like that. I'm still just concerned that he can get caught in a Dragon Tail into a follow-up silence, and he probably still just dies. So.
Oh, absolutely. If they get the stun and silence, I mean, there's no sort of...
There's no dispel.
Nobody's got anywhere to save him. I mean, at the most, X-Nova can hold back one of the heroes by using them, but yeah, between the supports, they're not going to have any sort of way to keep him safe. So Nothing to Say gets caught. He's dead. He's got, I mean, he may just... I think at this point, you probably continue to AFK farm until you have the BKB.
I think so. So I'm trying to like... Maybe they were thinking like, oh my god, VP's mid-game draft is just going to be way too hard. So let's just fight until that next, farm until that next set of items, and then we'll feel like we can be better versus that big team fight. But
sure, because indeed, obviously we're able to sort of sit here and see like the lead that they had.
Of course.
Maybe in the game, they just didn't quite feel that they were that far ahead, and didn't feel that they could continue to force the lead.
They had a level 5 Darkseer. They took double Wisdom runes. The supports were level 4. Like, I feel like they kind of knew that they had. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens with it afterwards, and if the farm actually ends up working out for G2iG. But yeah, VP are starting to hit all these big timings, and that Gyrocopter's insane farm that he had, it's only about 1,000 above the Sven and the DK now at this point.
I mean, with the way they're playing, I'm surprised X-Nova wasn't like, boys, I'm getting a Midas.
Me too. He went Yules.
It could have even been better.
I thought he might have actually gone
when
to
you start looking around, seeing the rest of his team doing what they're doing, it's like, I'm a Phoenix. I'm going to buy a Midas.
Yeah.
But X-Nova, he's like, guys, I want to play Dota. I'm getting the Yules. Unfortunately, it continues to be just the farm game here for G2iG.
Yeah, I mean, Radiance is, they both have BKBs on the 2 tanky cores now. So DK and Sven have it finished already at this point, and Marcy almost has hers too. So that Radiance, I don't know, Owen. I really don't think
at the least, he'll be able to turn it into a nullifier and whatever he wants to do with the evasion down the line. You know, that's...
All right.
Squad.
Fine squad.
It's got that Aegis and the BKB, though, as you say. So Aegis gone. The rest of the team is coming up to set up. Nothing to say. Caught immediately by the silence. Caught immediately by the stun and the vacuum. He's dead.
He's dead.
Uh-oh. The egg, will it go successfully? No. Unleash is there. They will be able to kill off the Sven, and they will be able to shred through the Marcy as well. So
Monet's damage too high still.
They do indeed get the cleanup with the Gyro. Squadix able to TP out only just in the trees. So G2iG, they're still able to make the fight happen. I mean, hey, maybe there's a plan.
That was the plan,
maybe. Goes in, he tanks everything. Indeed, they're like, let's get rid of this Ember. He's got nothing to save himself. It doesn't matter. He goes down, Monet cleans up.
That was really interesting how that happened. And Monet did like literally 9,000 damage.
Yeah.
So maybe nothing to say. It's just actually a distraction.
It's a distraction.
This is interesting.
The next level distraction, I mean, indeed, as you say, Monet are doing so much damage. It's a sweet combo. You know, the vacuum, the stun, it all comes in on top of the wall and getting the egg taken out, but indeed it's Gyrocopter just tearing them apart one by one.
He did more damage the entire 5-man side of VP. Actually absurd.
Maybe just the gyro stonks continuing to rise.
Maybe the gyro stonks are just enough, and I mean, nothing to say. Like you said, he's just like, okay, I'm just gonna take all the spells for you, buddy.
It definitely worked out there.
It definitely did.
So, you know, Monet very, very happy.
Yeah, and it was a good start of the fight too for G2.iG, right? They procced the Aegis immediately. It kind of was VP running in afterwards to try to protect and make sure the Squad X could survive, but G2.iG prepared.
Next step, really, what for VP is, yeah, get the Crimson online, Crimson Greaves, and then the Shivas ideally for Notice. It's going to take a bit of time.
The Crimson will, I mean, the Crimson's going to come pretty soon, and that's going to protect versus the Gyro.
Yeah.
I'm astonished how much the Monet was able to do versus Warcry and everything, too.
There's so much damage for him, and very close to having the Satanic for the next fight. So at that point, even if they do manage to isolate and jump the Gyro, high chance that Monet's going to be able to survive and turn the fight around.
And that last fight did push him up against that, you know, that little cushion. He only had 1,000 net worth lead right before that fight over those 2 cores. Now he's got that, like, you know, 2.5K. Did put him a little bit in a better spot now.
Dire's bottom tower has been denied.
BKB's at the ready. Antares now has his on the Marcy, so now Kiritich won't have to run at the egg. Now the Marcy is the egg answer alone. So probably won't see Kiritich run to try to hit that one next time now.
Let's see what they want to do here. 5 of them grouped up top, VP.
Nothing to say is getting closer and closer to BKB as well.
Oh, you see this as well. Talking about nullifiers. X-Nova's going to rush his. Is this your sort of standard Phoenix build? Yours into nullifier?
I mean, it's versus Darkseer Grimstroke, right? It's two of the best. It's actually like the best kind of heroes to be able to go for that dispel. Of course, Warcry, you know, the Sven one, once you get shard, that is no longer dispellable. So that'll still be proving to be a bit of a problem, but I mean, that's going to take a long time, so we'll see if it does pay off for him.
As I said, I think X-Nova kind of got the vibe that we did. He's like, well, you guys are just farming. I'm just going to buy this huge item. So he's just going to start farming up that nullifier.
And maybe now he is looking at being like, damn, this Yules, I wish this was a Midas.
It should have been a Midas. He knows. I bet if he could go back, he'd be like, I should have got a Midas this game. Would have been lovely.
No, with the game state, 13-13. G2.iG have re-established things after VP was starting to catch up after that one fight. VP still very strong in the 5v5 team fight.
Yeah, if they can get the execution down, and if they can get just someone to get the jump on Monet, at least stop his initial damage.
Baboka.
Found him in the trees, but Baboka is very quick with the bushwhack and the Gleipnir, able to jump back to safety with the sharp shot.
Yep, and he is, of course, still farming it very well on this Hoodwink. As you said, you know, Gleipnir's already been finished up. Similar farm as that Darkseer almost.
Heading back to maybe make a play around mid, but JT,
he might get caught.
Around. He's going to get jumped by the Dragon Tail. He's followed there in time into the silence. Jump forward from Antares. JT's out.
Very cool way they set this gank up. They actually had Kiritich still showing top, finishing off the tower while they were TPing to the mid. So JT thought he was safe to go for an extra wave. That was very clever. Now more momentum for them to hit this tower. Orchid finished on Squad X as well, but nothing to say. His BKB's coming.
All right, so now he should be able to kind of just charge into the middle of the fight and have a good chance of surviving, jumping around and causing some issues here.
Now it could look, now that Radiance could look a lot better, but he is still going to be giving a bit of that Radiance to the Darkseer, so we'll always have to watch if that does make a difference or not.
Dire are scanning.
These are going to be cool fights. I mean, the 5v5 fights are going to be tremendous in this game from both sides, so see who executes them better.
Yeah, a lot of sort of weight on the ultimates. What I've noticed, as you say, he's got to be catching that Ember in the wall, and then obviously Antares, he's got to be keeping his eyes on the Phoenix, trying to get in on top of the egg.
Notice, yeah, Notice, exactly. Notice just wants to get a good vacuum and get his Sven into a good position to be able to just smash him down. Speaking of Sven, also, this is one of the better talents for when I look at the Svens. It's 20. 10 more Warcry armor for the entire team now also, especially versus a high physical draft. Could be another timing that they're looking to play off of. Smoke v smoke. They know that they're down here, though. G2.iG did see the Inkswell pop.
We're going to try and start things onto the DK. If they can burst through him, they're going to burst him low. There's the jump for the BKB's come out. Kiritic is going to go straight for Baboka. Baboka is running, but Kiritic will be able to catch it.
But Kiritic committed so far.
He's got to start retreating now with the BKB. Get away from the Supernova. There's a homing missile heading his way. They can't get him out. The Slide and Fisted there. Nothing to say. Goes forward. Gets caught by the silence. But it's slowly and surely burning through them as there's 2 dead on VP.
Oh my god, they're crushing this fight now.
See if they can jump in for more. Nothing to say. Straight over with the slight change. He's able to catch Notice. With that, they should be able to take the Darkseer down as well. JT chasing him down. Notice, nowhere to run. G2.iG, they'll lose their 2 supports, but they'll be able to make sure they get 2 cores and a support from VP.
They're executing the team fights better now. So after VP had that little bit of window, now it's IG, just much better execution of that one. Kiritic just went all in for Baboka, and it took him an eternity to actually bring down this Hoodwink. I think he got, what, 2 redirects, it looks like, onto the trees from the Sven hits. I think I see two trees missing up there, so all those little things matter.
And the scaling from G2.iG is paying off. No, nothing to say with this Radiance.
It's actually working, yeah.
They got through that sort of rough part where it's like maybe VP could punish. But indeed, Radiance, BKB, Veil of Discord on top.
And honestly, Monet is just too big. He's too big to deal with. Honestly, Gyrocopter stonks. Rising and rising. Even though they have the damage mitigation and everything like that, they don't have the damage to kill Monet. It's definitely not at this point when he has got the Satanic and the Elven Tunic now too, and now they'll be able to get themselves the Roche.
Yeah, not a chance of VP contesting this. They don't have Noticed up.
Greed is good, it seems like, especially for this game. It's absolutely paid off.
For this team as well, we saw G2.iG kind of be able to pull back a game against Entity, going for sort of the late game scaling.
So cool how this game actually happened, because it was like super aggressive early start from G2.iG. They started themselves very good, and then they slowed back, and VP got a bunch of things back, and then G2.iG just finds the better team fights 2 times in a row to be able to reestablish things back into massively in their favor for this huge Gyrocopter. And that was into the Warcry team fight too, the level 20 talent that they had just gotten for Kiritic. So timings from VP in these last few fights just did not work out.
VP not looking like they want to take a fight around this tier 2. G2.iG getting the space to push in.
Not versus the Aegis, especially not when Kiritic is 200 away from Daedalus. Probably wants that timing at the least.
Yeah, wants to be able to make sure the next fight, when he gets on top of the supports, he is able to sort of take him out in 2 shots and not having to expend the entirety of the BKB to take him out.
They have to have a better start of the fight, though. They can't get like Squad X initiated on. They have to have like Squad X jumping and getting an initial stun, and ideally trying to burst the target first, but not the case. G2.iG literally in the last 2 fights were the ones starting on Squad X. Not ideal for VP.
They really don't want to jump like this. They've just got to let their tier 2s fall.
And they're not really farming too much out of it either. DK was hitting a hard camp, but everybody else was just watching. Will be able to get themselves their Tormentor. Who's going to get it? Will be noticed.
G2.iG, even with this Aegis, you know, I think at this point they feel that there's no rush. I think they feel that they've got kind of a solid enough lead. As long as Monet can continue to stay this kind of full item ahead of the other cores in the game, this Gyro is going to be very difficult to deal with.
And Baboka, gotta always mention him, right? He's almost same now with his DK now. So the scaling is continuing for this Hoodwink. And the 2 supports, as we said from IG, they do scale quite a bit better versus the other lineup. I mean, Marcy scales hard, of course, but Phoenix and Hoodwink are just easier to scale from a distance. They're getting surrounded down here. Squad X again might get jumped on. Might have BKB TV, yeah.
Just get out.
But JT, the bash was primed.
There, so Squad X caught outside of the base. FNG as well.
They can go high ground. 2
very nice kills indeed. There's no buybacks available on either of them.
They actually might be able to get 2 sets here. That's a long time that they're dead. They've got the banner still too, right? Yeah, they do. So could look to put it down and just really push forward here.
I mean, they can get a lot from this. It's going to be very hard for VP to pull together a defense with just the three of them. The mid tower gone. Yeah, he's just going to have to sit and watch these barracks go. Fortification, but still a fair bit of time until they have the DK back. So full set of racks in now, taken by G2iG in the mid.
They can just keep going. They have everything. I mean, they're so farmed on Monet now at this point that I think when Aegis expires, they could just look for the fight right afterwards. Full Ember now with full Shivas on the Ember.
And nothing to say, just sort of teasing around with Kiritich, because Kiritich, if he wants to get out, he'll probably have to BKB TP. Oh, okay, change was already used, I guess, so nothing to stop it. So Kiritich identifying that, realizes he can TP with the chains already popped.
Nothing to say, was very close to almost being able to kill him there.
I thought he was going to be able to kind of continue to play around with him.
I think he actually maybe could have, but he had his Remnant here. So I think if he wanted to maybe commit for Remnants and stuff, he could have tried, but wants to be able to join the fight.
And here he is, joining the fight right now. Tower and the barracks taken. Jump forward, stun out onto the two of them. Still very hard to get in onto this fight and very unappealing whilst the Aegis does still sit there on Monet. So not able to punish them at all. G2iG, they get the two sets of racks and back out with everybody alive.
Trapped in the base. Monet about to have a butterfly versus the Sven, who's never in the realms of getting an MKB. Same thing for that DK. Maybe the Bloodthorn. No, he's actually gone for the AC, so yeah, not even going to be having the Bloodthorn perhaps for Monet's butterfly. This gyro just untouched.
Will spread thrice.
And that quad melee, that we were a little worried about, even though VP did have that momentum in mid-game, has hit its biggest problems to be able to get to this gyro and get to these backline heroes. Let's see, they're trying to time it with that Aegis maybe going down or when they're split up. Can they find?
Someone's likely to be around here.
Nope.
They're not quite able to close in onto Baboka.
I think they're looking at the puddles, and they're looking to hunt him where the puddles are in the fog, because I think they see them, because they're pinging exactly where the puddles are. G2iG, though, split back up. They're fine. And now they'll re-smoke. Butterfly finished for Monet. And the nullifier, there it is, Owen.
Oh, he's ready to go. they went for the scaling, G2iG. They went for the big brain strat.
It's absolutely
kind of
works.
just
It's
get
paid
this
off.
lead and then sit back, and because I guess they were just like, well, you know what, VP, this team VP, they're not going to be able to do anything. Sure, they're going to be able to recover a little bit, but getting to a point where they bring a team fight to us and are able to take them down, it's not going to happen. So we can just sit back, go for the greed. And now at this point of the game, 15K ahead.
Greed is good.
It really has paid off.
Yeah, it's really nice. Even the Hoodwink Epiboka, now crit level 20. His damage, nothing to scoff at. And the final set of racks, looks like they're setting up for it here. So VP, it's incredibly difficult now at this point to get that fight, but they need Squad X to try to get some type of initiation on backlines, and they have to try to get that first go. I'm checking if Darkseer even maybe has Blink, but he doesn't. He's looking to go for Lotus. I think they have to go for some type of wombo combo play to be able to have success in these next fights now. So far, he hasn't been, I haven't seen, we saw that bottom vacuum which caught 2, but it hasn't been any of these 3-man, 4-man vacuums that I think many of us were hoping for to save for VP. Lotus is done, and they're just going to try to go.
So they can go through Monet. Then with the burst, it's a lot of burst, and it's an up.
Bring him down.
They just jump in, take out the gyrocopter. Nothing to say, it's to jump away with the Remnant. With the gyro gone, they've got to get out of here, G2iG. Nothing to say, he's going to go for the TP, and he's out.
BKB is still good.
Oh my goodness, I mean, I think Monet,
the instant go.
He did not expect to be burst like that.
Especially when he had Butterfly. They did not have True Strike, and they went
still
right
got
through him. That was actually surprising. It was everything thrown on him, and also he was amped up, if I'm not mistaken, right? The Nemesis curse as well, adding up.
They're going to try. Oh my goodness, the crit comes in, and X-Nova, he disappears.
And now Baboka, maybe.
Can they got anything to stop this? They don't quite in time. So Baboka is out, but quite a hold there indeed
Very
from
nice.
VP. Definitely being able to close a bit of that gap between Kiritich and Monet.
Yeah, now Monet next time might be like, hitting the tower maybe does require an Aegis. Basher now for Antares. 1 or 2 more of those. Could be pretty nice for VP to be able to get themselves back into a decent position, but they need to execute it kind of perfectly. They need to catch G2iG off guard, because that's pretty much what that was. They caught Monet and the rest of the team just not prepared. How close to Bloodthorn now for Squad X? Because that's the other big one for them to be able to go through it.
That's a while.
Are scanning.
Yeah, still a bit away. MKB, though, actually just got finished. So he sold his boots on Kiritich just to be able to get the timing of that. Plus, he has level 25, so... Oh, man, maybe they will be able to shred through this gyro. It's still going to have to be a lot of execution that comes out from VP, but the possibility is still there.
Yeah.
The big wombo combo is still possible.
And it was obviously sort of handed to them.
Sure.
In that last situation, right? As you know, Mone's just sort of standing up there, hitting the barracks, hitting the tier 3. So as long as he doesn't do that again, G2.iG
Are scanning.
should still have a better chance in the team fights with the overall lead that they have right now.
The damage from Kiritich, though, did spike massively now in these last few moments. The level 25 plus MKB.
And Roche.
This could be problematic.
Okay.
He's gonna squish. He's gonna really chunk these heroes down if they get the jumps. I think that's gonna be super important as these initiations still.
Who's taking the Ags?
Do you just give it to?
Give it to Marcy.
Oh, the AoE silence pulses could be pretty damn nice.
Yeah, he's got it. So it goes the way of Antares. So
Okay. Very cool.
this game's heating up again. I mean,
It is heating up again.
It's been a bit of a back and forth from one, right? We had G2.iG with the early lead, then they sort of take this strat to kind of sit back, farm things up, and they managed to build up a very big lead, but they go for that push. VP's able to shut them down, and whilst they may be 13k behind, they are absolutely not out of this game, VP.
No, I think 13. I mean, I think it just still is initiations and teamfight execution. That 13k could disappear in an instant because Marcy now at this point has same net worth as the Hoodwink because of that gifted Aghanims. So this hero is now a big problem. Honestly, the Marcy, if he finds Baboka, will solo kill Baboka. If he finds the Phoenix, he'll solo kill them.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, at this point, it's like, you know, who's impact are you more scared of at this stage, the Marcy or the Hoodwink? And I think you take the Marcy.
I mean, it's the positioning, right? Positioning is going to be absolutely everything for this upcoming fight.
Sure, but I guess whilst Hoodwink plays from range, you'd imagine it's going to be a bit easier for the Marcy to play the positioning, right? Because you have the BKB. Whereas, Hoodwink, if anybody even catches a whiff of Baboka and jumps in on him, he's gone.
I think it's now with the combos of everything come together for Antares, the Warcry, AC, BKB.
They can keep him alive.
Yeah, they could keep him alive. Yeah, that's a good shout.
So definitely a bit more difficult. I feel for Baboka to play his late fights. He's got to play very hidden.
This game got very exciting. I mean, the kill score has made it look like it's literally been like dead even kill scores back and forth over and over again too, and it's caused things now to be super close. VP on the ones now feeling comfortable to go outside since they do have that luxury of the Aegis and the cheese. Anything big coming out for the side of G2.iG soon? Monet still a bit away from Swift Blink. JT getting closer and closer to 25 after this Wind Waker.
Okay. There's a TP cancel there from the Nasai.
Oh, and the Bloodthorn's done now too. So they've gotten
They jump him.
4 or 5 massive items on the side of VP just from that last kill onto Monet plus Roshan.
I mean, I guess, okay, they do at least have the Wind Waker on JT.
They do.
So they need something to be able to help him if he gets jumped like this.
They have yeah, and they actually don't have a Lotus or anything because the Nullifier was gone for the Phoenix, so they don't have that.
You've got the greedier supports this game.
Yeah, very true.
It's just a Wind Waker and a potential force with the Hurricane Pike from Baboka to try and get him away.
I'm super excited to see how these big team fights go down. Is Notice going to be able to get these big vacuums? Isn't even going to matter with the damage that they now have on the Marcy and the Sven. Kiritich is able to find an Arcane Rune. Yeah, these big team fights are going to be everything.
Yeah, it feels at this point, Kiritich, he can be the one to initiate, right? He can just BKB God Strength, jump any of the cores, and just start the fight.
Smoke on smoke.
They could have another saying. There it is, Kiritich. He starts the fight.
It's too much damage. He's dead for 90. He spent his gold.
Wait, did he?
He bought the parts of the Gleipnir.
Oh, yeah, completely spent up here. Nothing to say. So out for 80 seconds.
Uh-oh. Look at Kiritich's damage here. He's going to now start knocking on the front door.
Yeah, got the ACR obviously from Squadix. He's got the Dragon form as well if he wants to push in, and he does. He has the Aegis. And yeah, that God Strength probably was popped during the Arcane Rune, so he's going to have God Strength pretty soon again. At least long before Nothing to Say is back in the game.
That actually might catch G2.iG off guard, right? It's 25 seconds till it comes back up.
They're trying. I mean, JT's trying to start something. Squadix burst down to about half HP. A bit of a surge him out, keep him safe. But yeah, I'm sure VP's surely going to want to try and strike again. 10 seconds till God Strength, 40 seconds until Nothing to Say is back in. Maybe they're just settled for pushing out the bottom lane, getting that tier 2.
DK form is ending too, and yeah, their bottom lane is a bit of an issue. It's anybody that comes outside, though. If anybody gets caught in this fence stun, they will die. What did he finish up now? Also, I believe he now has sold the mask, or disassembled the Mask of Madness into set. Yeah, so movement speed, a bit of an issue, but he's got a Darkseer, so should be able to at least make sure that he does stick on the targets, but lead chunked down massively.
I talk about this because that's not definitely not the order that you would normally see, right? That the whole the Blade Mail, the Radiance, the BKB, the Shivas, and then going back for the Gleipnir.
Yeah. I mean, the Gleipnir is just—it's one of the best items in the game.
It's a great item,
right?
but
it's amazing. But
getting it later on,
yeah. I know Nothing to Say's items are very interesting in this game, to say the least. So, let's see if it ends up having that success or not. Shield now on Kiritich. Yeah, Gleipnir always is. It's always a good item to get, though, right? Because even like in later stages of the game, the BKBs are starting to tick down and stuff like that. So it's yeah. But no, I definitely agree. It is a bit of a weird order.
It's the order, right? Yeah.
Team fights and team fight execution is everything at this point now. Yeah, 13K lead. It's a comfortable thing for G2.iG because of how big Monet still is, but VP in these fights, execution will be absolutely everything.
Who's getting this shard? Probably almost all have them, right? Yeah, just
I think
DK.
they all but DK, yep.
Yeah.
This one, I don't even feel like I see people even use the Fireball anymore.
There we go.
Beautiful.
Speed up that farming just a little bit. Very close to the Aghanims. 1,000 gold away, Squadix.
Dire are scanning.
And G2.iG are heading back over onto VP's half of the map.
And JT's gotten a big timing also for himself now. Level 25 is hit, so this Corrosive Haze could be also problematic since they can't really get it off themselves now too. So the damage from the Ember and the Gyro could also be pretty absurd. And these next fights going to be absolutely crazy. The Lotuses, the armor, etc. Darkseer has almost 70 armor right now.
Let's see what they can go for. As we saw last time, Kiritich, he can just jump whoever.
65 armor Darkseer without Warcry popped. So when Warcry popped, it gives 25. So Darkseer's going to be sitting at 80 armor.
He's not dying. Yeah, and whatever happens in the fight, notice, at the worst, he's going to be walking away alive whilst everybody else dies.
The Warcry is going to make, I think during the duration of the Warcry, it's going to be very difficult for them to bring down a lot of these targets, because even Marcy's sitting at 50 armor. Both teams giving respect.
Yeah, they likely want to wait till the next Roche, each of them, before they really try and overextend.
It's either you wait for Roche or you camp a ward, a high ground ward, and wait for your successful high ground positioning. But Boca has also now hit level 25, and this game is going to just get spicier and spicier because look what he's queued up. Let's go.
I mean, they could get multiple rapiers this game, honestly. You could see one down the line on Nothing to Say. You could see one
Monet.
On Monet.
He's been saving gold. Monet has been, I've been seeing him change his itemization like 5 times now that he's had. He had Swiftblade queued, Lincolns. I think it could even start being pushed up to the levels of something like that rapier.
But the Lincolns does feel nice, because then at least Kiritich can't solo start on him, right?
True.
The Sven can't just go in, begin the fight onto Monet. At least it's going to be a lot harder.
What he can do also is build Lincolns, get Monet to buy a rapier, and then when, Baboka to buy a rapier, and when Baboka dies, he takes it. So could be something like that.
Either way, though, buyback. I don't want to see any of these heroes without buyback.
They need buybacks, but VP
I
has
don't want to see anyone spending up.
VP spent quite a bit.
Uh-oh.
They're going to jump, though.
And
initial go.
JT's gone. I mean, what's that, 2,200 crit coming out there from Kiritich?
Instant buy. These are the BKBs used.
So Nothing to Say can catch. BKB TP. Squadix is bailing out. Gleipnir's going to be there to catch out of the two of them. They turn with the silence, but the BKB's out from Nothing to Say.
Kiritich,
he's right through the two supports, and Kiritich, he's completely caught. No escape for him. So G2.iG, they take the fight. Still going to be a minute and a half respawn on Roche, so chance the VP will be able to get back over here.
They can force a bit, though. They can at least force the buybacks.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Straight down the top lane. And it's the last set of racks, so very likely that VP's going to feel the need to buy back to try and hold.
Yeah, absolutely. JT, I mean, that was really heads up. He has this buyback. He also still has AC gold if you'd like to purchase it. He's actually going to go for the Lincolns. Like you were saying, if they can dodge the initial stun, then they'll get those BKBs up and maybe live. So.
Yeah, Lincolns is great.
Yeah, pretty cool.
stops Kiritic being able to sort of just solo kill you, which he will with these 2200 damage crits as we've been seeing.
There we go. That's the 2 buybacks forced. Immediately going to go back to the Roche. It's 40 seconds till it's up, which is... I mean, the BKBs will be back up exactly when that Roche comes up for VP, so they could look to contest it, but the positioning, that's where it's going to be hard, because now IG, they can set up wards around here as well to just be ready for the initial go.
I think you still go for it, though.
You have to. You probably have to.
For sure, yeah, you've used 2 of your buybacks, but you get the jump on JT again, and he won't be able to head back over for the Roshan fight. They're looking at mid, because at the moment, nothing to say. He's pushing it out.
He should be fine.
He's away with the Remnant just in time.
They're not going to make it. That Roche is just going to die way too fast. It's going to be up in about 2 seconds. I don't think they're even looking to go to contest it.
I guess they feel that scared with the buybacks on cooldown on the 2 of them.
It's also just you're running into a position where there's probably 3 or 4 wards just to watch your movements coming in, and that is the case. The wards are placed down from G2.iG, so VP, they're going to sack it. G2.iG, they're still just being a little cautious, positioning themselves outside, but they'll get it all.
All right, they absolutely are going to want to push this, surely. They've got the Aegis on Monet, and they know that Kiritic's Fen has no buyback. I mean, in the case of the moment, as you can see, the entire team does not have buyback. 2 of them due to the timers, and 3 of them due to the financial reasons.
Monet getting close to that Rapier Gold if he'd like to as well, too. He can eat his Aghanims and have it pretty soon. VP looking for an instant catch. Look at this, trying to just be sneaky here. They're playing around this ward because if someone comes up, they will 100-0 them, but G2.iG playing it smart, sticking together. How's the Lotus? Oh yeah, gotta keep checking out these Lotuses. I've been seeing them gathering Greater Healing Lotuses. How many we got? 2 Greater Healing Lotuses plus a cheese. 3 Greater Healing Lotuses plus a cheese. They've got a block of cheese, Owen.
Block of cheese.
The first block of cheese I think I've seen in a pro match for myself.
We've had a few, but not, at least not the ones we've
Not
casted.
the one
Who
we
did
casted.
JT give it to? He gave it to himself,
Himself,
right?
hell
It's
yeah.
like, easy block of cheese for me.
Oh, that's hype.
There we go, JT. That was the strat all along.
That was
They were
the
like,
strat.
JT was like, I want to win this game late because I want a block of cheese. I'm feeling hungry.
The savory shield. So for those who don't know, 500 shield when you're out of combat. I can't remember, how long is it? It's 3 seconds out of combat that it starts replenishing, I believe.
I think it replenishes pretty fast.
It
right?
replenishes pretty quick, yeah, so. Smoked up.
I mean, they're still waiting for something out here, VP.
They're looking to just try to pop a hero, because they're trying to do what they did earlier to Monet, is catch them off guard. But that's not looking to be the case this time around. G2.iG being much more careful, looking to jump in as a unit rather than maybe 1 by 1.
They're looking at Kiritic. They're going to get them with the glide near the bushwhack as well. Kiritic needs help. He's getting personally hit by Monet. Pops the BKB. Now he's going to try and turn with the God Strike. Towards JT, but JT able to Wind Waker out of the fight and away from the Sved. Forward the Remnant. I'm going to say not quite able to finish off Kiritic or FNG.
It's a good wall.
Monet is caught by the Soulbind. Kiritic is going to jump back in. They're able to take the Aegis out of the hands of Monet. This Supernova's down, so they've got to keep their distance from that for now. They're back away, VP.
Not bad. They had to use a lot there.
Sure, but it's the Aegis gone, what Supernova used, and they don't lose any lives.
Yeah.
I think you're happy dropping your ultimates and your cooldowns for that. You've been able to put a stop to the Aegis push.
Not too shabby. They kept, I believe SquadX didn't actually use BKB either, so he does have it ready for that next one. And Kiritic did, of course, but the other thing now also to point out is Kiritic, SquadX, if he gets level 25, AoE Dragon Tail versus these Lincolns, that can cause them to be able to actually stun them through because the Lincolns don't block that. So little things that could add up as well as we get to these late game stages.
Watch him take the Dragon's Blood.
Yeah.
No,
maybe he will because there's so much physical.
It is a lot of physical, but the AoE Dragon Tail, come on.
But maybe he does feel like he just wants to be a right-clicking scaler and just be able to stand his ground.
But at this point, 12 armor, he's already got so much, you know.
Yeah,
just get AoE.
Just because they have two Lincolns as well, too, right? So I think there's definitely a possibility he grabs the other one. But anyway, it doesn't matter. JT, Savory Shield, he can just do this for free. Even though this is, I believe, is this the 3rd Tormentor? Yeah, there's the 3rd or so. He'll be able to just fight off it, which you usually cannot do with the solo hero very well. Has nothing to say. Oh, he actually just didn't have the shard yet, so he'll get himself one. And nothing to say, I believe, also a Lincoln, so triple Lincolns. Okay, he better get Dragon Tail AoE stun.
He's got to get it. Let's watch him.
Let's watch him.
We're going to watch it live here.
As he takes the armor.
No, he's not. He's taking it. Come on.
He's thinking about it, dude.
He's thinking about it. He's like...
Antares.
He's not thinking. He's just AoE take.
Antares gets caught. FNG playing around a ward top.
SquadX still hasn't taken his 25. There we go.
He takes it. Good. Good.
AoE Dragon Tail online.
I'm pretty sure that was maybe like a mini discussion. It's like, but I do want armor for skill. And they're like, we need AoE Dragon Tail. We need it for these Lincolns.
AoE Dragon Tail.
30k gold lead. Climbed back up there for the side of G2.iG. Kiritich is in.
He's going to jump with the Lincolns. Will be there to block the stun. Money puts the BKB. Kiritich is considering if he gets out target, he's going to start running. He's going to start heading back over towards nothing to say him with the slide of fist. Still standing his ground now, jumps away the remnant. SquadX has been caught, puts the BKB. The vacuum there, three of them on top of the wall. But SquadX, he's getting low. He's going to get buffed up by the Crimson Guard. But Baboka's able to right click him down. Kiritich turns over towards nothing to say, but nothing to say up in the air with the Yules. Another slide of fist. Kiritich getting kited. He'll kill off nothing to say, but the buybacks there. JT's on top of the spin. Kiritich is gone, and this game looks to be over. Triple kill for Baboka. They're diving in for more here, G2.iG, as we're 4 dead on VP, none with buybacks. This game is over. GG is called, and G2.iG, 54 minutes it took them, and quite entertaining. Now, not necessarily in the style we expected, but very much in their own way. They get the victory here, Fog.
Yeah, incredibly kind of back and forth. They did have a pretty decent grasp of the game for the majority, but VP did strike back.
Last game, he enjoyed watching the world burn with his Radiance Ember. Now he's ready to do it with the Scorched Earth of Doom from the mid.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit of a odder-looking draft, I guess you could say, for the side of G2.iG. They needed disables, so they finished up the draft with the Nyx, because otherwise Ember was pretty much... There's like no stuns for him, right? They had to pretty much rely on a Rolling Thunder, so they wanted to have that more reliable thing. Meanwhile, VP, when they see that Nyx, they kick up tempo. As soon as they see Nyx, they see the lanes being a little bit weird and stuff like that, and not having the best ways to deep-push on the side of IG. They're now looking to, you know, up the tempo and up the pressure in the early game. Because they have Beastmaster, they have DK, they can hit towers pretty easy. Even though nowadays, you know, the Beastmasters, they just straight go Ags always. It still doesn't matter. It's what he adds to when you group up with the team fights. It's no longer, you know, Dominator pushing or anything like that, but it's about the fights.
Both teams looking for some early action here off the back of a smoke.
I really like the way that both of these teams are kind of drafting, though, because it's just completely different style from this time to the last one. It's just like not really too many shared heroes either. Yes, the Grim, the Hood, some Ember DK, but...
Kiritich is going to look for the lead. Dragon Tail. Shadow Demon has got the disruption to break the initial stun follow-up from the Inkswell, and that will save Monet. So, smooth moves there, and at the same time, SquadX is going to take a lot of damage from these two, but they won't quite be able to kill him.
That was very good disruption. Honestly, that was pretty sick, saving Monet. Able to dodge out the Inkswell. I thought the Inkswell might pop right after it, but times it literally perfect, so keeps Monet safe.
And let's see. So how does this mid lane go, the Doom against the Ember?
I haven't seen this one, but I feel like Doom's going to be just fine, right? He just sits there, and he's going to last hit absolutely every single creep, and he actually might be able to... I wonder how much pressure he's going to be able to apply, though. That's the one thing I'm curious about. I feel like SquadX should be able to hand his own, but I don't think that Nothing to Say is going to be pressured at all. We'll have to see. Up top, this is actually a pretty cool thing. The Weaver and the Shadow Demon versus Beastmaster. These boars, they'll die constantly inside this laning phase. So Notice has to be very careful to be able to protect them. Because you can just, you know, send a Shikuchi through, later on Bugs, and then the SD can just throw a disruption onto the Hoodwink and chase out the boar. So see how the lane does end up going down there, and if they can actually get a sentry down for the side of VP to make sure they can catch Monet when he, you know, Shikuchi's through.
Nova. Getting very low to these early acorn shots, but absolute level 2 for both of these teams. It's going to be go time on this lane.
Oh, yeah.
Monet's hit the level 2.
More so than the other lane, right? Yes, the Grim and the DK could get aggro, but very unlikely in comparison. Top is probably where we'll see probably going to see that action. And now that I said that, it's going to be bottom, but...
They're going to try.
He got the shield crash off before the stun, though.
He did, so he was able to get the shield built up on JT.
I feel like if he's ever able to just get the shield crash off, he should be just fine.
Yeah, CS in the lane so far. We've got 5 for 3 against the 4 for 3, so very close between the two of them. He goes immediately for the TP.
Oh my goodness, that was close.
That was very close. And doesn't, of course, TP back to the base, TP's back to the tower, so we'll still be out on the map, but it's going to be kept very low HP.
This was meant to be the harder lane, of course, for the side of VP. And notice he's handling himself. So Antares is eating the majority of that pressure, but Notice is getting good CS out of it. But Regen is going to start being lackluster up here. It's constant harassment, and yeah, the board just dies in an instant.
Mid lane remaining pretty close.
Pretty even. So yeah, Squad X, he's handling himself. I didn't feel like the Doom could pressure too much. Of course, once that 6 hits, that's going to be annoying. Aggro. They got it to Baboka this time. Baboka a bit far forward.
If they got enough damage,
They should.
Chasing him out into the trees, they'll find him. FNG. First blood for him, and Kiritic, he will manage to walk away. Same time up top. So if they can run down either of the two of them. Monet turning over towards Antares. The bug is upon him. Antares in a bit of trouble. Shikuchi forward. I'll put the Lotus, but it won't save him. G2.iG get the kill. He'll also be able to clean up Notice Courier.
Noticed it might be in trouble too. He's trapped.
He's completely surrounded. He's got to go for the TP out. TP back to the tier 1 tower. Notice breaks away from them.
Nicely done. Bottom, they do get, of course, that kill onto the Nyx, but so far, Kiritic's CS is a little bit slowed down. But Baboka, he stepped up too far. He's the one that if they can catch him in this stun, they can kill. But the Pango, much more difficult.
FNG, blood grenade down upon him. They jump in with a shield crash. FNG is able to get the ink swell off.
Did he misclick? He only did the single shield crash, right? He didn't do the double? It doesn't matter. It's only minimal. It wouldn't have been enough to kill him, but a little bit of slip up there from JT. And seeing the item build from JT, he is going to be going down the corrosion route. So have seen this still on some Pangos, even though it doesn't give you, you know, minus armor or anything, but he's playing versus DK, so I guess he wants some of that extra heal negation. Is nothing to say mid, taking a big part of damage.
Not quite enough though. Again, a lot of these heroes only just surviving. We've seen a lot of early kill attempts from both teams.
Big deal.
It remains 1-1.
Ooh, they do take away the runes though, so double water rune check, and they take away the bounty, so nothing to say. Might have to, I mean, he just has to wait for the tangos to build up, or we'll have to just back away as Ember can constantly harass him. So Squad X now can just sit in the mid lane. Nothing to say, so be very careful. I'm surprised he's stepping up again.
Still very, very low. Bottom lane. JT again getting these shield crashes off, allowing him to continue to stand toe-to-toe with the two of them, even when he's left on his own.
A bit too tanky. He's got the healing salve too, so should be able to keep himself down here. Baboka is starting to do Nyx things. He doesn't really help too much in the lane. He's just, I think, mind flaring some hard cramp, some big creeps.
Yeah, nothing to say. He's just going to farm his way back to base to refuel. So he's going to give a bit of space here for Squad X in the mid.
Yep, and he is just going to go Arcane Boot, so not going the route of... I mean, he's not playing offlane, but I still saw some of these mid-dooms buying like the multiple bracers and stuff and then selling them because you have the, you know, the devil's bargain, but...
Top lane, setups onto Antares. And this time, there won't be any chance of TPing away surely as Antares. He's so low. I mean, at the same time, FNG is also extremely low to the dive from JT and Baboka. But in fact, both of them do live. They both get away. FNG's actually able to turn and get another stroke of fate out.
JT, there's another rotation. He's got a shield crash.
I will finish off FNG, but yeah, so the time and effort it took did indeed cause JT to be caught and brought down as low as he did diving under the tower. So VP are able to make it work. And
so cool, Antares' TP. He was top 15 HP, salves, TP's bottom, ends up getting the kill on JT because of it. These are some high-level players, so loving it.
I could believe that they didn't manage to get that last hit on towards Antares. Top D looked as good as dead, but yeah, surviving, not only surviving, but making plays.
Very cool stuff. 6 minutes, another Lotus. Kiritic will be able to grab that one. Top, noticed, getting gone on again, another disruption.
Got TP's coming over to help out. Monet. A pretty strong TP as well. Squad X in with the chains and with the amplified damage. Monet's gone.
Might have another too. X-Nova.
That's a lot of damage coming out from this Ember Spirit. TP's coming in. He's got another Sleight of Fist ready to go. He's going to get held back by the stun. The Sleight of Fist. It's enough with the amplified damage. Double kill for Squad X. Excellent rotation.
Hot stuff. Baiting noticed perfectly. As top lane actually went pretty well for the Beastmaster, all things considered, when he's playing versus this Weaver that I've seen a lot of times just absolutely free farm. Noticed is neck and net worth with him, so a great job done by him in the Hoodwink up there. And now Squad X, yeah, still lingering in the top area. Monet gets roared. Monet could just die here.
A second time round, indeed he's gone.
Oh, baby,
Same
noticed.
time down bottom, the two of them making moves onto JT. He'll be able to get the shield crash off. Turns over towards FNG. Swashbuckle in, but the brief fires out, and JT goes down. FNG is going to tick out the orb of corrosion.
He lives.
He will survive, so both lanes now getting huge kills. I mean, indeed, in particular, that top one, back-to-back deaths there on Monet.
exactly what they want with this type of draft, right? They want to have this type of laning advantage here, especially with the DK and all this and everything. Yeah, so far. Looking great. Nothing to say. We'll be able to find himself a little satyr, so he's got the Purge for the Ember Flame Guard, just to be, you know, it's very annoying actually to get that one off. And versus Inkswell. He's got Doom available too, but so far, SquadX, some really, really nice movements that we've seen from him these last two. Catching Monet off guard, back-to-back deaths for the Weaver. And noticed the other thing about the Beastmasters too, I believe I saw him stacking, not the whole time, but he does at least have one of these ancient stacks at the ready to be able to go back to now that the lanes are starting to break. Hot stuff this time for VP. Last time it was G2.iG just crushing the tempo in the early game. This time VP with that nice advantage. And making quick moves.
Trickster's rune of illusion.
To get the catch. They're hesitant because they know nothing to say is around, ready to counterplay, and they will look to do that.
Doom is
Baboka
there.
heads in, Doom gets dropped down onto the DK, Rolling Thunder as well. They'll throw everything on towards Kiritich to bring down this carry. DK, JT also with the Rolling Thunder, able to bounce across towards Antares. Doesn't want to head up to the high ground though. They're happy with the kill. They'll make sure they don't lose anything for it.
I'm surprised they actually even stepped up at all. I guess they just got baited by Baboka. Oh my goodness.
Dire's middle tower.
He nearly had him there. He's still, of course, this point
He
where
has to go
Money's not
back.
quite got the level 6. Same time, JT is able to dive in and finish off FNG, but yeah, Monet's game continues to have a very tough start.
This Beastmaster is having way too good of a game, honestly. It's going to cause some
Nothing to say.
big issues in the mid
He
game.
tried to take a walk back to mid, but Antares and SquadX were there waiting for him.
And now the tower is going to take a hefty amount of damage here, too. It's the Blightstone, of course, on the Ember, too, so
Dire's middle tower is under
they might even be able to finish off this tower almost.
See if they can kill Kiritich. Stun off the mark there from Baboka. And Kiritich tanky enough to continue to just hold the defense.
This Ember Spirit is also just out of control. He's actually just going to take the full tower, so timings for him are going to be catapulted forward.
Yeah, this guy's pretty good on his Ember.
He
Well,
really is.
Grandmaster tier, of course.
It's his best
We're
hero.
seeing it.
Yeah, it's absolutely his best hero.
I noticed. Talk about people doing well this game. He has, of course, just done so much to slow down the Weaver, and little moves like that, getting away only just, but stopping Monet from being able to get a kill that would absolutely help Monet get back into this game.
Yep.
He's
And
not
now-
going to get it.
And now the Ember, like they actually have really good burst versus the G2.iG heroes, because if you really look at the G2.iG heroes, they're pretty fragile.
Yeah,
the shield
SquadX can
crash will be able to make him tanky enough, of course, for JT, but everyone else is quite squishy at this point.
They know nothing to say is farming around this area.
SquadX is poking him, getting
Don't
info.
want to go for it. Bottom lane, JT jumping in. He's got Baboka with him.
Big damage.
They've got the burst to bring down the Dragon Knight. Kiritich, yeah, they're going to drop the ult for it as well. TPs are coming in.
got it.
Rolling Thunder comes through. They'll take Kiritich down.
JT is a bit low here. He gets the shield off.
Yeah, he's just going to go for the TP out with the remainder of the Rolling Thunder. So JT escapes. Centaurus looking for the catch for the Bushwhack.
Can't.
Won't get it. That's G2.iG. They get the kill. They get out.
Radiant
Good hits.
are scanning.
Baboka does get caught, though. Slight chain. SquadX has found him.
Yeah, very little he can do.
TP.
Oh, actually, I say that,
He's
yeah.
good.
There was no change left and no further stuns nearby, so there's a lot he can do. Easy TP out for Baboka.
I believe he had a Lotus, one of the healing Lotuses, too, that pumped him up a little bit more than I believe that Ember could have brought him down.
Monet has got to be careful playing
He's
around
roared
like this.
again.
They've got the roar opening. They've got backup coming in as well. Monet, Chikuchi's there in time, and he's out at the vision. No, not quite.
Got
Just like
the
Chains
chains.
gets him.
The
He'll be
Doom.
forced to time lapse back. Indeed, with the presence and nothing to say, G2.iG should be able to take this fight. Indeed, they get the both of them. Noticed and FNG to fall. Nothing to say. Clutch rotation. Make sure the Monet can start to get some success out of this top lane.
The little bits of HP for Monet, right? Strength Treads, Falcon Blade Bracer, these little bits added up there does allow him to survive, get time lapse, and nothing to say. A second successful Doom.
Usually like my trees to myself, but I'll make an exception.
Game now. Gold at least just pretty much dead even. And they've reestablished Monet's lane with that movement there.
Dire's
Yeah, he really needed that.
Yeah.
See him straight now up towards the top 3 net worth. Nice little recovery there for what was a tough early game for the Weaver.
Yeah, and they honestly, like this Pango Nyx lane, it's not like that, you know, when you even think about it, it's not that incredible lane to pressure or anything like that. They have actually slowed down the DK a tiny little bit, and look at the Nyx's farm. But Baboka somehow always, you know, mind flaring these neutrals and stuff like that. He's found a decent amount.
They're looking to fight around the mid. Setups there from Baboka on towards
Found him.
Antares.
And the Purge.
See if they can get more. JT's coming in with the Rolling Thunder. The Soulbind will hold back the 2 of them. FNG is going to get dove here by the Weaver. Monet finishes him off. Double kill I mean, they're tempted
Squad
to dive
X.
for tier 2. They're going to be in with the Shikuchi. He's got one more Remnant, but Monet trying to get in position. He wants to keep diving this. Monet, he's got the kill, gets the triple, gets out with the time lapse. The Weaver, I mean, already in these just early 12 minutes, he absolutely is. Rough start in the lane, but that has all been but forgotten. Top net worth now on the Weaver, level with nothing to say is due.
And nothing to say, again, like this Purge is actually doing a ton of work. Oh, they get the whole thing.
At least a triple, maybe even a quad stack of Ancients there being taken away by G2.iG.
Brutal. At first it was VP doing a little better in the early, and then G2.iG strike back super hardy with these last few moves. And
we'll check this dive again. I mean, Monet knows his strength. He turns up Falcon Blade and the Javelin. That's all he needs at this point to be able to do the damage. And at this stage, you take out the two heroes. Nothing's going to stop you from getting away with this. Dives in past the tier 3, finds a triple kill, 12 minutes in.
Such good plays from G2.iG. I mean, Monet's recovery, but also just the way that they start the fight, right? Boboka just insta-kills the Hoodwink. They don't have to worry about any type of follow-up stuns, and damn, very nice plays.
Crazy stuff.
Midas, of course, for the Doom. He's going to have Blink very soon as well after that. He's going to hit some very fast timings now that he's gotten these very good kill setups on two or three different cores back-to-back. Kiritich has gone down the armlet route. So still going to be very strong inside the fights if he's able to survive. But Doom is back at the ready.
Yep.
G2.iG is ready to look for another pickoff. They're feeling their tempo hitting. And notice still a component away from the Aghanims. They're going to catch him off guard. VP does not look prepared for this just yet, and actually maybe even going for that Wisdom Rune.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be able to bring anyone in to help as well. They're just going to have to let Notice go.
After doing so well in that top lane as well, too, now he's at the bottom of the cores. Not by a huge margin, but has been completely stagnated in Monet. Now 6 kills for him after he was I think he was the last level 6 core on the map.
He was. It's got to have been. Yeah, with indeed how long it took for him on that top lane.
Pretty huge stuff.
Massive turnaround.
And yeah, taking out the Wisdom Rune now too, so they will be able to claim double Wisdom Runes. So that XP, besides the gold now going into their favor, the XP is now catapulted into their favor too. Really hot stuff, and still just lingering in this area because they're preventing your DK and your Beastmaster from farming Triangle, which is pretty clever. But look at Squad X.
He's taking away a triple.
He's taking a triple stack as well from the other side.
This is quite a nice steal, able to do it very safely as well with the regen rune.
Very nice.
So staying at full HP, JT heads over, but it's all but too late. JT only able to retrieve one of the last Ancients. Everything else goes the way of Squad X.
Good identification from him. How close for Beastmaster Ags? Imagine when VP has this Ags on Beastmaster, when they have the blink on the DK, that's when it's going to be their big tempo go time to fight back a little bit more versus G2.iG. Because if they can get the catches, that's where if they can get the jump stuns from the DK, that's where the Grimstroke and the Hoodwink are able to play a little bit better. Because right now, the two supports on VP are struggling.
Sure.
They need one of these cores to kind of jump in for them. And probably the DK, because I think Ember at this point, if he jumps in, just dies.
And I guess with this kind of core setup that VP have, this is not a lineup that can sit back and farm their way into a game.
I mean, actually, they probably could, because it's a DK facet, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
I don't think that they'll scare the same versus the Weaver. I think this hero just is, I mean, pretty busted. But and there's a Doom, so don't think they ideally want to just sit back and farm though.
They've got the smoke.
IG does.
Around the mid here, VP.
Can they catch?
They get the jump. I should get the kill. Nothing to say, it would be quite a nice one.
It's a shield rune. Can they keep him locked down? Gets the shield off.
He does get the shield rune off.
Too much.
Doesn't end up mattering indeed. But the four of them got the damage.
Too much control. He can't move. Set up for bottom, but no one's showing up just yet. It's Kiritich. He's too tanky. They probably need the Doom for him. Big kill for VP. Back things back out. Be able to get that farm going. Still, Ancients are blocked, so poor Notice runs to the left. Throw some axes. Won't have that one again.
Definitely going to be some concerns about the space that Monet's getting, though.
Yes.
We've seen Monet be able to free farm his way to victory many a times this tournament.
He's had a pretty, I mean, at least the ones that we saw, he had pretty explosive carry performance on his Sven, his Gyro, and now, I mean, definitely potentially on the Weaver after that bit of a slow start. He is hitting all the timings. And he's going to have his, he's going to have this BKB very fast. The Gleipnir finish so early is probably going to cause some problems, especially for Squad X. The fact that he was able to get it this early on. believe Squad X now, does he have his finished? He does, so kind of triple timing for VP on their cores if they'd like to go for a bigger fight here. Dagon is finished for Baboka, so he's looking for these pickoffs. Supports, not an easy game for the VP supports, that's for sure.
There we go. Squad X, still his game indeed. 30 seconds faster than the patch fastest. Pretty impressive there on that Gleipnir timing.
So Gleipnir on him, Blink on the DK, right? And then the Aghanims on the Beastmaster, so trying to find a fight. But G2.iG also has hit timings. They want to fight themselves. Baboka,
They're going to see him first.
stun off the mark.
He's able to get the spike carry up himself. Still, the Kirchich is going to go in with the jump, but he gets caught
Doomed.
by the Doom.
Money's dead.
He gets burst, though. They're able to
Instantly.
take him out before he can get the time lapse off. Soulbind linking up the two of them. This should be a good chance for VP to clean up the fight. Squad X
Great
gets the
fight.
double. Get the route onto JT. JT slides away with the swashbuckle. He gets taken out by the Bird of Notice. So 4 dead on G2.iG. They themselves, they only lose the DK. They'll take that any day of the week. Now, at the
Beautiful.
end of the day, when you're playing against the mid-Doom, someone's going to tank the Doom and the team fights. Somebody's going to die. So 1 for 4. That's a big win there for VP.
Great positioning from them. The Beastmasters on the high ground versus the Weaver. They saw him. They get the perfect roar. He just goes 100 to 0 instantly. So VP very prepared for that fight with this timing here.
We'll check it out again.
It just was
Monet.
instant, yeah.
As soon as they see him, bam. The roar easily long enough. The damage follow-up there coming in from Squad X. And indeed, not a lot that the DK can do there. Kiritz is caught by a Doom.
Yeah, and I think for the further fights, they're going to tell Xnova, do not disrupt anybody but Monet. Monet needs the saves.
Absolutely.
So he used it on Baboka, I think it was, toward
Sure.
the end, and he still ended up going down. So a bit of a slip up there from Xnova that could have maybe actually changed the fight. So definitely need to save disruption for the Weaver.
Yeah, if he had disruption on Monet, he's able to get the time lapse off. With this Gleipnir, he
see a
would
big
definitely
difference.
be cleaning up at
Yeah.
least 2, 3, maybe even 3 heroes in return.
I don't think we'll see Xnova make that mistake again, and I'm sure. I mean, Baboka's probably yelling for the disruption, but yeah, you got to save it for one of the cores when you're playing versus DK Beastmaster. Now VP off of that kill, trying to accelerate things a little bit more. We'll be able to get this Roshan pretty quickly. Lincoln's now, of course, going to start going up in priority for VP.
Who's taking this Aegis? You carry Doom or you mid-Ember?
Noticed.
Oh,
Nice.
Okay, not even. They give it to the Beastmaster.
Cool.
Well,
His roar is that important
Sure.
in this fight, yeah?
Sure, but you're given the Aegis, and then now it's like for nothing to say he doesn't want to drop the Doom on him,
Yep.
so you're always going to be able to roar. Okay.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I feel like, I think they're probably saying like he's going to have more impact in the mid-game team fights than DK still at this point, so if he can get the roar
even
off.
though as we didn't see in the last fight, but as you talk about, that roar can be dealt with.
It can be dealt with.
It can be dealt with
It
by
absolutely
Xnova.
can, yeah. FNG with Shard now, so he's got the Inkswell dispel. Oh goodness, careful
This
guys.
one's not going quite as smoothly as they hoped.
I don't know if it's going to work. It's going to be close.
He's got it. but
Okay.
Only just. Antares to get the shard. Baboka scouting things out down bottom. Talk about Antares. He's got to be careful where he steps. Baboka will almost certainly 100 to 0 him.
He sees him too for a second there with the ward.
Oh, sentry's down.
He knew.
Yeah, and TPs are coming in.
And he gets him.
Setups there with the bushwhack. Indeed, the follow-up from Kiritich. Baboka has been dealt with.
Good awareness there from Antares. He's like, something's up, man. I know this Nyx is going for me. He's gunning for me. Kiritich, nothing to say. He's considering looking for this jump here.
I mean, with Monet, they could have a chance. I mean, if they want to go in with the Doom, maybe it's close to a tier 2 and they don't have the rest of the team, so it's risky.
Yeah, and you don't see too much. You see Ember in the mid lane, but he can join fast, so yeah, they'll back it away. VP, up to a 3K lead now with Aegis. Pretty comfortable spot. I see nothing to say. He's queued up the Midas, so feeling like the game, slowing down for G2.iG. Does want to be able to go to that later stages, and VP with their tempo, they're starting to hit it. So these next few fights, definitely for G2.iG, could be pretty complicated if they don't get a very good Doom, and if they don't get the save, of course, on the Weaver. So VP definitely having a bit of easier execution in the next upcoming team fights. Nothing to say, though. Charges in.
All right, he's ready to 1v3. I mean, it'll guarantee FNG going down. He's going to go for the TP out with the rest of the BKB, and he'll make it away. I mean, it's a solo kill, but it is doomed down for 2 minutes.
Yeah, I think it's just because the pace of the game, he just wants a kill, right?
Okay.
Like, nothing's happening. He wants to just be able to get something, accelerate his Midas. Because they're playing into Aegis, probably not looking for a full 5-on-5 team fight.
Yeah, I would imagine though, VP now, especially when FNG's back up, they're going to
Go
want to do
straight for
something,
it.
right?
Oh yeah. They have 2 minutes left on the Aegis. They can look for a fight themselves.
Because the Doom has pretty much been the only reason in the last couple of fights why they've actually lost a hero.
Yes, no, absolutely.
So with no Doom, it's quite a bit of a timing that could favor VP if they look for action.
Yeah, they could actually take bottom and maybe look to take Tormentor. That could probably be one of their next best kind of moves. It's a little risky though, going for Tormentor probably.
Yeah, well, with how close we saw it coming when they were taking their own.
And Xnova actually preps the ward there, so he was kind of expecting them to make the move perhaps over there as well. So yeah, not going to be the case. And VP will just go back to getting some farm going for themselves. I'm wondering how many Lincolns we're actually going to end up having in this game, because we have a DK stun, we have a Beastmaster stun, but then on the other side, there's the Doom, right? So could definitely see Lincolns coming out on quite a bit of these cores.
Well, they're on the hunt, talking about the Doom. They're able to get him with the jump onto nothing to say. Catch him with the Dragon Tail stun into the Inkswell.
Perfect timing. BKB just came up now, right after he dies.
Xnova and Monet will be able to secure their own Tormentor. Shard for the Shadow Demon.
A decent one. Pretty good one this game versus like the Ember Spirit and stuff, being able to remove some of these chains. Notice, does he see him? He does not. It's close.
Now 1 minute left to continue to play with the Aegis. Maybe just enough to allow them to go for another tier 2. The top or bottom, we'll see where they push the most. Fortification out from G2.iG. And noticed, he's made his way down bottom. Monet starting to back off, very close to the BKB. And Weaver.
And G2.iG just trying to slow pace of the game down, just get farm going, get these next few items finished. Like you said, the BKB for him and then probably JT with Lincolns, and maybe they can look for a fight. Still not going to be the easiest of fights by any means into this VP squad that's hitting. They're hitting all their timings on the cores, and now the supports are starting to get a little bit extra stuff too to be able to play. Antares now a cloak to try to protect versus this annoying Nyx assassin. Could allow them to be able to get these spells off on the two supports, which they are very strong this game. The Hoodwink and the Grim with their support.
Bug, you're a bug expert. What's the bug going on?
Who DC'd?
Hoodwink. Anything going on with Hoodwink right now?
Oh, he has the wards in the stash. There's a current bug that you sometimes can't remove the wards onto your courier, or your item sometimes you can't do it. So you might just be able not to snatch the obs wards from the courier, maybe.
That looks like it could be the situation, yeah.
That's the only thing that I can see, I don't know.
See if the reconnect fixes it.
It looked like his courier was actually coming out already, but
well,
I don't know. We'll see.
Seeing some of these earlier plays, of course, that one there.
Yeah, let's see if it is the courier thing. Let me see.
What's he doing with the courier?
So his courier currently has an obs in his... Oh, I have to wait.
Oh, indeed, in the mid, they're going
That's
in. They
a
get caught
replay.
by the... Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
You got me good there. I've already cast that one. Anyway, what's going on with his courier?
He has Ob Sentry on the courier, but he can't retrieve the Ob Sentry from the stash, I believe.
Uh-oh.
I'm not sure. We'll have to see it if
How
that's
do you
the
fix
case.
it?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's even the bug. I'm assuming so. But it looks like it is.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go with it. Catch in mid, JT.
Oh, that's a nice bushwhack. That's a very nice bushwhack. This time the disruption is there to try and save JT. JT's able to jump out with the swashbuckle, but the Dragon Tail's there. They'll get him anyway. Very nice setup there from the Hoodwink.
VP playing quick. Playing nice, swinging across. Now I believe that's the Orchid now also finished for Kiritich. They can get this push going. Squad X with the Lincoln's also feeling very safe, so very unlikely he's ever going to get doomed. Great timings. G2.iG, I don't know how they team fight. I don't know how you team fight versus VP's draft right now. Or even as the game starts to progress when they have this lead.
High ground?
I think you can start poking, yeah. You can force heroes back. Glyph gets popped, you can probably back away now, but you've forced a couple people back. Yeah, I don't know, this is looking real complicated, and it really is starting to, I feel like it's really gonna come down to Monet just being able to like super carry somehow as this Weaver, but definitely not one of these easy ones by any means for a Weaver.
Yeah, the other two falling behind a bit, especially nothing to say right on this Doom. Normally with this Midas, you don't expect to be in the net worth position that he is right as a mid Doom.
No.
It's falling behind.
Radiant structures are fortified.
I'm gonna keep track of something too, because actually I'll mention it afterwards in case it does happen. I won't mention it beforehand, but
See what VP want to go for next. Just one more tier 2 tower to be taken on that bottom lane from VP if they can get that push going in.
I like that they're staying clustered. I think they really do know that the team fight is just a super advantage for them right now.
The flames rush forth.
Looking at Antares, he's maybe trying to get some type of setup here.
He's going to get the Atos into the bushwhack. He's going to turn. They're actually going to drop the Doom down onto Antares. Backup's coming in. Money puts the BKB, but the Roar's there. Have they got enough damage to take it down before the timeline? They do.
Good bait from Antares.
It really is. He not only sets up for them to kill Monet, but I mean, he also tanks the Doom. And I mean, Kuritic, he might even find something of his own over here. And he knows he's able to jump across. He doesn't even need to help out. Kuritic's got it solo, takes out X-Nova. And they're able to start pushing the creep wave round on the bottom lane.
Playing this really smart. I love this little sacrificial play there from Antares, right? Just, yeah, it's great stuff there. Being able to find Monet, who he really needs to super carry. It feels like now you've slowed down the Weaver again. VP definitely feeling pretty comfortable now going into these later stages of the game.
Difficult stuff now for G2.iG. Got to somehow find these fights in a way that allows them to keep Monet alive.
JT looking to try to snatch a Wisdom Rune, but I don't know. It's actually going to be noticed in the area to try to snag his. G2.iG maybe looking to fight around here, but not too quick to blink away. And he's got the BKB at the ready on the Beastmaster too. VP setting up for the fight over here.
Got a slight fist chains.
They broke the Lincolns.
I mean, he's getting burst to half HP. They've got a disruption coming out, but indeed notice they were just moving. Drop the Roar on towards the SD. Rolling Thunder comes across, strong JT. Soulbind to lock the two of them down and together, and they'll just turn, take them out. JT's in trouble. He's going to try and roll away, but they've already lost 3 of them on G2.iG. JT and Monet, the last 2 on the retreat. Antares has got any further catch? Not quite.
Almost.
So those 2 will get out of there, but again, just not the sort of fight that G2.iG is looking for.
VP untouched. Honestly, notice with a real heads-up blink, Rory sees the Shadow Demon for a hot second, just instantly kills him. Doesn't care about going for the other catches because he stops the save. And now, probably a Rax to just fall because the Glyph is on cooldown.
That looks like it. They've got a heavy amount of push. And in fact, they're pushing both lanes at the same time. Kuritic working on the bottom. Tier 3 Notice and Squadix on the mid. Tier 3 in the mid to fall. Tier 3 down bottom soon to follow. Now turns attentions over towards making sure they do get at least the melee racks in the mid.
JT.
He's going to try and start the defense, but he gets caught by the silence. The stun's there to follow up.
It's a nice save.
Disrupted by X-Nova, so a bit of time for him to break out of the combo. But Boca steps up, the push right. It's in onto the 2 of them. JT slides away with a swashbuckle, have to bounce out of this. They'll kill off Kuritic, but nothing to say. He dies on the front lines of the fight.
And
the Doom's gone. The stun catches onto Monet. He's out of the game for 70. No buyback.
That could just be it. Honestly, they blink doomed the hero that was at 10% HP. So they could look to just keep going because there's no Doom, there's no Weaver.
Yeah, they've just got so much push.
And noticed is, yeah, he's got the 20 stacks.
Well, they're going to play it safe by the looks of it.
That's actually a bit surprising. I thought they would at least like tap their... Okay, I was going to say, wait, what?
Yeah, Squadix went back. He was refueling and grabbed his Shiva's guard.
Yeah, I was about to say, what the... JT's going to try to make it go. But just to try to stop them for a second there.
Yeah, just the 2 of them right now. G2.iG trying to put together a defense. And
JT, careful.
Yeah, and it's not working. They can't stop these barracks from falling. VP. Pretty much finding a second set. The fortification will come out. Squadix, he's ready to go back in over towards JT, at least to finish off the barracks. JT trying to hold his position. The Lincolns has been popped. Silence out as well. They know for towards JT. The Roar comes out. Immediate disruption to buy some safety for nothing to say, but they won't be able to protect JT.
Deleted.
Double kill for Notice as Baboka falls. Nothing to say. X-Nova having to run back to base. They'll tap out. GG is called. VP take game 2.
Honestly, what a game from both Squadix, from Noticed. You got to give the supports a bit of credit, but these 2 in particular absolutely popped off. They tipped Kuritic because I feel like he was the sacrificial lamb at the DK.
He was getting caught, dying every fight, but he absolutely did his job there, having to drop spells down onto him. And yeah, gave Squadix and Notice pretty much all